Well, thanks everyone for joining today. This is an AMA session with the Cat Collective. A lot of focus for this conference has primarily been on gaming and the games industry and everything. Today we're focusing a lot more on the esports side and the competitive gaming side. I want to remind everyone that at any time you can ask questions for Emma and for Christian in the sessions chat if you would like to. This is an AMA, so you can ask anything, and we will relay it to them throughout the conversation. My name is Lydia Pendergrass. I'll be moderating a little bit today. I am the managing editor for Hotspawn.com, one of the leading esports coverage publications right now. So, like I said, we're joined with Emma Brown and Christian Thugard. Varja was unfortunately unable to make it today at last minute, so we hope they're feeling a bit better today. So both of you are members of the Cat Collective, so I guess to get things off in a bit of an introductory fashion, Emma, can you not only introduce yourself, but can you talk a little more about the Cat Collective and founding it, I guess generally what a purpose of it is, and introduce it to people?
Yeah, of course. My name is Emma. My screen name, or as I'm known online, is Catfish. Basically, me and two other of my friends made the Cat Collective together. We were in an all-female team previously. And basically, when we were looking for new members, we were absolutely inundated with people with other women wanting to join, wanting to learn how to get better at the game, wanting to be coached, etc. And we knew that there were other sort of female-focused communities out there, but just with the sheer amount of people who wanted to be involved in what we were doing, and with, as we were back then, and as we are now, called the Jetpack Cats, we basically decided to make our own server. And as we're all massive cat fans, the Cat Collective was a very easy pick of a name. So I mean, me and the two people who I started it with, we're still the admins on the channel there as well, although now we've grown to have moderators, a great events team, and, lots of different people helping out with the server. So yeah, I mean, it's just really developed into a lovely community, and I wouldn't change it for the world, really. But what we like to focus on is sort of the team element of things. We have 7 teams at the moment for Overwatch. We have 5 EU teams, which are all different SRs, 2 of which are female-only teams, and 5 of which are, 2 of which are female-only teams, and then a few of which are mixed-gender teams. And then we have 2 NA teams as well. We've just started to try and break into the America side of things, and so we're looking to sort of do events centered around them and things as well in the future, hopefully.
So is this something that a community that if anyone was interested in joining, they could immediately hop into?
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, although we don't have invite links plus put on our Twitter or anything that's quite so open, just because there is the incident of trolls and,
of course,
people who are, a little bit mean and, anything. But, if you ask anyone on the server, we just sort of hand out invites basically when we can, or, whenever anyone wants to join, if they want to, get involved with the Overwatch side of things, or, we have other games going on as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the other games later, but Christian, I understand you're one of the team leaders within the Cat Collective. Can you talk a little bit about how you personally got involved and what attracted you to getting involved in the Cat Collective?
Yeah, so when I joined Cat Collective, it was as a tryout for one of the teams, Katana, on the DPS position. But what attracted me is basically it is basically the women people and non-binary people that is in focus, as that is like a small percentage of the people who actually play the game is women or non-binary. So I played on Katana, I think it was for around half a year, and then decided to make my own team in there. Because I really support what these lovely people do, and I wanted to go further.
What kind of made you want to be a team leader? Did you always see yourself in kind of the leader, the captain position to start your own team?
I've never seen myself as a leader. Let's get out of the way first. but I have always wanted to be a leader, always wanted to learn to be a leader. And when Denmark got shut down because of the corona, I saw the opportunity to get it started, to actually get some work done from the beginning, and I jumped on that opportunity.
As a competitor, how do you feel like the Cat Collective has kind of helped you nourish your competitive abilities yourself along with your teammates?
Well, I've got a lot of help to manage my own team, but also that the people on the server is just lovely and friendly and love playing with each other. And we help each other out. We have some coaches on there as well that can actually help us improve in our own skills. And they basically do that to help everyone. And I think that's a great opportunity for people to want to learn, that they can get in there and get involved with those coaches.
What advice would you give to anyone that wants to start a team, especially women, non-binary people that are of all genders? I'll ask this to Christian first, and then Emma.
Well, 2 words: be patient. The players is not just gonna jump right at you. We have had a lot of people leaving my team, and we have had a struggle. I think we had like 2 or 3 months where we only had 4 people, but we were all patient and kept looking for players to actually play with us.
Emma, same question.
So for new people who want to start up your own team, I guess the important thing is to ask for help. You know, it is a difficult thing to run, you know, one team, let alone several teams. And it is hard to manage everything by yourself. You know, if you're looking for scrims weekly and advertising for players constantly and trying them out and still trying to have team practice at the same time. And this is something, you know, people do in their spare time. No one's getting paid for this. So if you look at how many hours in a week that, you know, adds up to, you know, it can take over your life a little bit. So I guess my main advice would be to delegate that work and, you know, make sure you do have time to commit to things like this before going ahead with them. Just because, you know, of course, a team can be as casual or as competitive as you want it to be, but running your own team does take a lot of time and a lot of effort. And if you aren't putting in that effort, then you can't really expect your players to either.
Yeah, I definitely think we can all agree that this is all a passion of ours, and being able to do something like this that you're so passionate about, you definitely have to put the time and the dedication into it, but it never feels, if it starts feeling like a burden, if it starts feeling like work, if you're not enjoying it, then that's the time then you probably shouldn't be doing it in the first place if it's such a passion, you know, project of yours. So a question from Joel, how do you perceive the idea of sociability and community in esports? The Cat Collective is not just a organization of professional players, but you are a community. You're building this community around the Cat Collective. So how do you perceive the idea of sociability and community in esports? People talk a lot about micro communities when we're discussing communities in esports.
Who is this to?
So both of you, I think probably primarily Emma as the founder and one of the main heads of Cat Collective, but I'd like to hear from Christian as well on his thoughts.
I'll head up first then. So, I mean, there are lots of smaller communities, but of course we all do try and work together. I suppose there is a little bit of competition sometimes between, especially the female communities, and personally, that's not something I necessarily enjoy. I've always wanted us to all work together, all be on the same page sort of thing. But when you are leading different communities and they are competing for players, you know, events, etc., you know, people, then there is going to be that, there's still going to be that sort of contest. But that doesn't mean that we don't get on and we don't work together, you know, when there are community things going on like this Community Cup. C3 was another great example of the communities coming together and basically raising money for charity and all playing in the tournament that we put on together, which was mainly headed by Awani, the leader of HOA, I think was the main instigator of that. But, you know, all the different communities got involved. So although there are these smaller communities that may sort of keep to themselves, I think overall when we do have something that we all are passionate about, we all get together and we do almost mix the communities somewhat. We all sort of know each other, so we still have that friendship and that social mobility between these communities.
Same, Christian. What are your thoughts?
What I 100% agree. A thing that we also like to do is have our monthly events that we have a event team to set up and do. And those events are basically open for everyone, for every community. It is taking place on the Cat Collective server though, but everyone is invited all the time, and that's why we really want to like try to mix the communities together instead of like pushing them apart.
How important, Emma, would you say, how important is it to involve not only women, cis women, transgender women, all women of all kinds, but to also involve men in it as well? You know, it's all about inclusivity. So how important is it to you to also be including men in the Cat Collective?
For me, it has always been very important that, you know, there is equality within the Cat Collective. You know, that although it is a female and LGBTQIA focused server, that's not to say that they are more privileged than men in my server. You know, what we're aiming for really is for everyone to be able to play together in harmony, for that toxicity, the nature of that, the competitive side of esports that can be quite toxic to minorities, etc. We're looking for that to be eradicated rather than to split the genders or split, you know, people with no gender even. You know, everyone should have their own space, of course. And, you know, if, you know, women are looking to have a space that is separate from men, you know, of course they should be able to have that. However, I think it's very important in our server that everyone sort of gets on as they are, you know, without having to change anything about themselves, and, you know, being who they want to be and being their best selves, really.
And this question kind of goes along with that, from Jonathan in the chat room, that says, what role should allies play in online games, especially when observing discrimination in competitive games? As in real life, there can be worry that you don't want to take away someone's autonomy by supposedly white knighting and stepping in. So what can, you know, cis women, what can, you know, cis men, white men do to help be better allies in this community? What you would say?
Well, I think that's really difficult because I think it obviously is down person to person. You know, the individual, you know, say it's a female streamer who is being harassed, you know, they might want you to step in, they might not. It is dependent on, you know, from person to person, how they want you to act. So I can't give you sort of a blanket answer and say you should step in every time. However, the majority of the time, I think it is better to stand up and say something. If that, you know, if there is something wrong, we should point out that there is something wrong. But that's, you know, a personal opinion of mine, rather than, you know, good advice sometimes.
Sure.
I mean, there is that element of white knighting, but I think that that's like less of an insult than being told that you can't play a game because of your gender, you know. So I mean, the person is going to be mean to someone no matter who it is, because that's just what some toxic people are like online. But the less normal we make this behavior, the less likely it is to continue. So the more that we stand up and the more that we say it's not right that you're saying this, is, you know, this is, you're, you know, you're being a horrible person, why would you do this? The more we make it abnormal, the less likely it is to occur, I believe.
Sure. And I feel like if there was one thing to say, and we say this is exactly what you have to do, and then it's all fixed, then this wouldn't be a problem, you know, would it? If it was one simple fix, then it wouldn't be so much dramatic of an issue. So I guess, Christian, what would you say, any instances that you have come up with as an ally to be able to support this community? Any cases that you have come across?
Yeah, so a lot of times when I post around that I'm looking for players to my team, then I get a lot of requests from male players, and when I say that, sorry, we have enough males on our team, we only look for female, I also specify that in my post. They say, "Oh wow, you're so racist. Ooh, that's so rough." Like, but what I tend to do is usually get in contact with people that has like power over those people that say stuff like that, and like try to actually talk them to do something, like trying to stand up for other people. I actually had what's it called, a coincidence, like I think it's a couple of months ago. A player that said kind of mean things to me. He ended up trying out for a team called Vikings that I know and also play for, but that team leader is like, he really interested in the female community. So when I showed him that stuff, he immediately got mad at the person, and that shows that if stuff like that happens, we gotta communicate together. We gotta work together to actually find a solution to it.
I think education too is the best form of it as well. Of it has nothing to do with flat out men are better than women at gaming. We all want to play competitively. We all want to enjoy the games. Why is that? Why is that the issue? So another question from Stephanie. She says, "I'm a casual gamer and I'm located in North America. I currently don't have any women to game with." And you mentioned also that you guys have teams in North America, and she was wondering how she can become more involved. I'll answer this a little bit as I'm in North America. I think it also kind of it depends on the game and the community that you're interested in and playing in, but there are so many communities for every game and for gaming in general. I think it's even if you don't have someone to play with right now or play with, where you live locally in your state or your city, but there are a lot of communities to be able to find out there. Emma, can you talk a little bit more about how people can get involved, maybe not necessarily with the Cat Collective directly, we talked about it a little bit ago, but if people are trying to find communities, what kind of resources can they look at to try to find more women to play with?
Mm-hmm. I mean, I would say Discord is probably the best way to find other communities that are either like-minded or in your area. I think, being located in NA, it's a really big plus for you, Stephanie, that there's going to be a lot going on there. And there are a lot of communities that are NA based that, either have Xbox teams or, a lot of Call of Duty teams. Like this kind of community for everything, or several communities that house everything. However, if you want to get involved with the Cat Collective, I'll put a link in the session at the end, which anyone can sort of jump into our Discord server. And then, of course, if you get in touch with us on there, then we'll be able to sort of arrange a tryout if you do want to join one of our teams, and you can have a look around the server as well. But yeah, I would say, if you just type into Google, Overwatch, Discord, California, for instance, Google's quite good at showing you, so there's basically, you'll be able to click on the links there and have a look at what Discord servers there are, what communities there are, if you're in California or if you're in different parts of NA, or what time zones, or, even just ones that span the whole of America, or ones that span America and EU. So yeah, have a look around. There's tons.
Absolutely. And I know the games that we've primarily been talking about for the Cat Collective are Overwatch, but do you also host teams for any other games, or are you looking into hosting for any other games coming up?
Yeah, I mean, we're currently in the makings of a couple of Valorant teams at the moment. That's sort of the next esports we've decided to focus on, as it is the up and coming game.
Absolutely. Fantastic.
But also, doesn't have necessarily the best reputation for toxicity in the game. So, of course, I want to step in and try and make a safe and welcoming environment for new players, and especially for those players that, a little lower SR. We'll try and look for nice scrims for them to have against other teams as well, and basically I'm talking to the other female communities at the moment about the possibility of them having Valorant teams and us setting up sort of partner scrims and things like this. So that'd be something to focus on sort of after the tournament, I guess.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, we'll get into the tournament as well, but can we talk a little bit about the partnership with Women in Games and how this came about, getting involved with Women in Games and getting involved with this conference?
Yeah, so I applied to become a Women in Games ambassador, as you know, I was really impressed with the work that they did, and at the time I was living in the UK, so it's really not very usual to see a lot of esport related things or gaming related things in the UK. So of course, you know, I want to promote that. I want to expand on what they're doing, and seeing as I was already making events, you know, gaming centric events, I was like, oh, you know, I'm sure they could use my skills to make events for them. So, you know, I applied to them and managed to get on the ambassador program. So I'm a proud Women in Games ambassador. But sort of off the back of that, you know, I spoke to David about the partnership as they were looking to sort of move in the esports and gaming direction. But weren't really sure sort of where to start, as it's become a large industry. And there are lots of sort of ways into it. But of course, you know, we'd already built our own community that had, you know, the same goal as Women in Games. So I feel a partnership was a very natural event to happen there. And now sort of I'm sure that Christian can talk a little bit about sort of how the tournament came to being as well through the partnership.
Yeah, so hosting our own tournament, the Cat Collective, has actually been the work for a couple of months now. But when Women in Games said, "Hey, we would like to make a tournament with you," we jumped on it, and it's a huge opportunity for both us in Cat Collective and Women in Games to promote the female scene in the Overwatch community, or just in esports in general. And I think we're gonna help a lot of people as well, like seeing that, oh hey, there's being hosted female only tournaments. Let's see if we actually can get more female players. Then at one point, maybe we can actually move over to that the tournaments will be both male and female. If we actually have enough female players, and that's the hope for the future at least.
Fantastic. I know Women in Games has we mentioned this you know, when we started this session, that Women in Games has obviously had a really hard focus on general games and general games industry, and as of the last few months has really you know, started going a lot more into esports and the esports side of things. So that's great to see that they're being very supportive. Kind of going along with that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the Cat Collective Community Cup that we have going on this weekend, and that I understand Cat Collective has a couple of teams competing in that. Let's get the details on that for this weekend.
Yeah, so we have two teams that are competing in our cup. However, we felt it was sort of unfair to just have, you know, one set team that was already a team in there, as really I wanted to showcase all of the great talent that we have in our server. So the two teams that we have are actually a mix of all of our different teams. I think both teams have 2 people from each team, so it's quite even in there as well. But it also gets the server sort of playing together and getting to know each other and learning basically how to play with each other and play in a new team quite quickly. You know, I think this way it encourages the tournament to be more fun rather than a competitive venture, which is kind of what my aim was for this tournament, which is why sort of I invited the communities that I did, as I wanted to basically be showing, you know, everyone how great these communities are and why you should be a part of them.
And Christian, I guess talk a little bit about your team that's being involved in it.
Yeah, we have 2 players from my own team involved in it. They, like, in general for both the team, as Emma said, they are mixed with 2 players from each team around that. it also gives that synergy, was to actually show how good like female players can actually be if they work together, play together. Um, and I think that's the main goal with this tournament, is to trying to promote that female players can actually be good, be competitive, be playing without actually being harassed. Because that's also a big problem. If we take like ranked in Overwatch, like if a female player just say hey everyone, then like 5 guys can start, oh my god, it's a woman, oh my god, and that will basically make the thing happen that one female player will basically never touch rank again, or at least not with 5 other people that basically don't harass her. And I think that is the primary goal with this tournament, to actually give more confidence to the female players in it.
That's fantastic to see cups like this being held. So real quickly, let's talk about the organizers that are involved. Obviously, the Cat Collective is holding it with in partnership with Women in Games. I believe is it Monkey Bubble? That's right, is producing it. Let's talk a little bit about how everyone is involved in it.
So Monkey Bubble are sort of looking at the production side of things. They were my first choice of production company just because they did such a great job with Rally for Representation, which was another female tournament which had lots of different scratch teams and some big name streamers as well, which we were very lucky to compete in ourselves as the Jetpack Cats. So they were obviously my first choice for this, as they have done something similar and pulled it off, incredibly well. And seeing what they've been able to create so far, I'm super excited for everyone else to get to see it this weekend. They're close friends as well of mine, so it's just really nice to see Monkey Bubble succeed from going from a slightly smaller company to now getting more and more contracts and being able to sort of reach more and more people on Twitch, etc. It's great to see them succeeding, basically.
Fantastic. We have the Cat Collective Community Cup. It will be at 1 p.m. Central European time on, is it Saturday and Sunday, or just Saturday?
So it's only broadcasted on the Sunday. On the Saturday, there are preliminaries, but they're all just played between the communities. So it means that all the communities get to play the maximum amount of matches. So, it's not going to be you play one game and you lose, so you're out sort of venture, which, I know that some communities hate, including myself. So this way all the communities get to learn and meet the other teams and talk to each other and get to have a sort of sense of community there. And then the Sunday will be the last of the matches, and also the single elimination bracket, basically, to determine a winner, which will be sort of basically a round robin from the day before. It will have the points basically from that. So, so it's a bit of both. So
main broadcast on Sunday. So everyone make sure you go and check it out at 1 p.m. CEST at twitch.tv/WIGJ. I posted that in the session. If anyone needs any more information, where can anyone find the Cat Collective online?
So we have lots of links that I can post, one to our Twitter, one to our Discord as well.
Fantastic.
If anyone wants to come have a look around, let me just post that all for you now. So if you want to join the Discord, this is the link that you'll need. If you want to have a look at our Twitter, this is the link that you'll need. Plugs, just
yes, absolutely.
So this is where we mainly exist at the moment, and of course you can get in touch with me if you have any questions or anything. I'll also put my link here as well, or if you want to join the Cat Collective or just chat to me about anything in regards to gaming or have any other questions that we didn't really get time for today, please feel free to get in touch.
Absolutely. All of our contact information for myself, Emma, and Christian, I believe, are in our profiles for the conference as well. So if anyone has any more questions that we weren't able to cover today, we'll all be happy to answer them privately if we need to. So thank you, Emma and Christian, for joining today. I really appreciate it. It was really interesting to learn more about the Cat Collective. And good luck with the tournament this weekend. We'll definitely be watching and cheering for everyone. So thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great day.
Thank you for your great questions. Bye.
Absolutely. Bye, guys.